Whoa, that's awesome.
I love it. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. I just needed it's right there, but you'll never see it because it's not where my camera points.
Yeah. Bethany and I are looking at setting up like an office room that's just going to be like gaming setups and stuff. And we want to get like some of those awesome, like really cool custom light fixtures. So we have a few things in mind, and we know of a few like people on Etsy who do like custom builds and things like that. Um,
Nice.
and so we're thinking of saving up money for some of those just to be like that cool people, like those cool people with like the dual uh like desktop setups right next to each other.
Mhm.
If I turn off my lamp, I should be very pink. Well, there's a little pink.
Hello, everybody. Hi, it's me, Elise, your GM tonight, as usual. Um, Hello, we're glad you're here. We made it, somehow this crew limped our way into Thursday evening for this game of Spire, which we're excited to bring to you. Um, I Just, you know what? Let's start with introductions. Hi, my name is
Well,
Elise. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm the GM, and you know I'm gonna hand it to Rachel because she just took a big bite of food. No, that's okay. I can also see that Ava and Anders or Tyler are just switched places. We've switched places.
oh,
I am
sure.
actually Tyler now,
So,
so
yeah,
Why?
you know what? I will fiddle with that a little bit while somebody else introduces themselves. Let's go with Sarah. You
let
introduce
me
yourself.
try.
I am Sarah. I am Din. We are she, her, hers, and we are tired. I am going to hand it to Ava, who is in Tyler's spot.
Hi, I'm not Tyler.
Oh my god, you moved it.
I'm Ava. I exist in the void. I have no corporeal form and am playing Chu, the Queen of Excess, who does have a corporeal form in the game. My pronouns are she, her, hers. So are Chu's. I'm also really tired, and so is Chu. So it works out. And I'm gonna hand it off to Tyler, who is now in the appropriate spot.
Cool. Hi, I'm Tyler. I play Anders and Company. We, the collective, are he and his. And then I will kick it up to Rachel.
Finish chewing. I'm Rachel, and I play Alvy, and we are she, her, hers. And I will pass it all the way around to the freshly shorn Sam.
Hi, everybody. I am Sam, if you can recognize me. As many in the chat have just pointed out, uh, I am without my mustache. I don't know where it went. I can't find it anywhere. Now, it was my COVID mustache. I started growing it basically the moment that lockdown happened. And I figured, I'll shave it when I get the vaccine. And it's now been today exactly 2 weeks since I got my second dose. So, I'm all done. So I figure, well, might as well chop it off and see how I feel. But yeah. Uh, so by the way, Sam, he, him, his. I play Eric Shamuza, who also goes by he, him, his, and I'm going to pass it that away to Sarah.
I already went.
Oh, Sarah already went. Oh, was I the last person?
I was
Oh,
waiting for Sarah to be like, and I'll just throw it straight back to Elise. Yeah.
I totally had my
No, you're
headphones on the whole time,
you're
so
good. You're
it's all
good.
fine.
Yes. Thanks, players, for introducing yourselves. We have a poem from Chelsea. Would someone like to read that?
I would offer, but I missed it. I can't see it in chat. I think I opened chat
I
too
don't
late.
see it either.
Oh, is there? Okay. Well, I can read it. Let me find it. Okay, here it is. I will read it. Let's see where were we? Oh yes, chaos, more chaos, so much chaos, oh my. Stress, fallout, crazy rolls, and choices, huge sigh. But seriously, that was incredible and insane. This campaign and the talent of this group continues to blow my brain. Deep, calming breaths, good vibes. It's fine. Things are going to pull through. Much love, Spire crew. I can see and hear you. Very beautiful. Well done, Chelsea.
Aww.
So I'm gonna start the recap by recapping what Edic did last time. He took a really nice, well-deserved 7 hour, maybe 8 hours of sleep, and is waking up the next day fine, refreshed, feeling good. Had some nice cool down time with Byron after a stressful evening. And he's just doing great right now. I'll pass it on to everyone else about what else happened.
Well, let's start with Tyler next.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if we wanted to start with the good or the bad. Yeah, so Sten, our lovable little criminal, gambled with Stoles, the luck god of Spire, and won. The surprising, at least myself. And what did I get from that? I can't. It's been so long. Did I make a note of it? At least you remember what I gambled? I have a note of it somewhere. I don't.
What you
You
gambled?
gambled your devotion to the ministry
Yeah,
over.
you said anything, and Stoles took you up on that and decided for you what your bet was.
Right.
Which was told privately, but I think we did fill you in on it. Was that
Yes. Yep.
it was Anders Prime, the the
Mhm.
main person, their devotion to, yes, as Sam put it, that Stoles would have become your primary deity above the
Mhm.
ministry and Limier. Lombre.
And
I'm there. I got it.
yes. And then I became I'm a luck priest now. I can take those advances. I got my colored scarf, and I think I just spent the rest of my time last session just standing on the steps of the to the doors of the mermaid, um, preaching to whoever wanted to talk to me. I use the term preach very loosely, and that's all that Sten did last session. The rest of of y'all and y'all's shenanigans can take it from here.
So things went a little bit wild. The conversation with between Din and Callisto and that other person were kind of coming to a head to a point. What is my hair doing? To a point where it kind of was getting dangerous, and so Chu attempted to start like a ballroom fight, or like a ballroom, like everybody attacking each other kind of deal, but she got caught doing it because the spell was like, you have to say things. So then everybody was like, Chu, what the hell? And so then Chu was like, oh shit, let's, it's the cops, cheese it. So she started running, and I think Albie tried to release the bees, but that went really badly. And so Alvi released, or like rebound time, and was like, I just did that in my head, yo. Um, so Chu ran outside and used her ability to start a party right outside of the estate, and tried to hype everybody up in like to like have a big one-on-one with Callisto, to kind of like give credence to the fact that she was there and like distract from the whole situation. But she quickly figured that it was just like an opportunity for her to kill Callisto. And I think she got a little angry about it. And Din and Alvi chased after and did a lot of damage to Callisto, who ended up getting stopped by his manager. And he didn't come out, but they came out, and Din secured a path out of the crowd for us, and Alvi caused me to to fall out, trying to get me to leave the crowd,
Yes,
which I
Alfie
did not want
caused
to
that.
do.
That had nothing to do with Chu's
Intensely,
actions or
yeah,
choices.
definitely.
So it's
Um,
all Albie's fault. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And to very begrudgingly, and also by force of the DM, because I didn't want to, was forced to leave the area because I was stunned and like dying. And so I couldn't resist being like dragged off. We managed to pull off into like a side alleyway, but we were chased by that one lady who is like the manager type person for Callisto. And a portal was opened into the thing. I don't remember what it's called.
The vault.
The vault, yes. And we were all going through it, and this lady was like beelining it for us, and I think we stopped her, and we managed to escape in time, and nobody died. So honestly, a 10 out of 10 success on our end.
Wow.
Woo.
Oh,
Notably, I want
no.
to point out that it was Io, not Crofer, who stopped Callisto from going after you all. You said his manager, and all you know about the relationship between Callisto and Io is that they are brother sister, not necessarily what their um, professional. Like if she is his manager, you don't know that, nor do you know if Crofer is. You just know that he manages like the household.
Mhm.
And kind of like a lot of the affairs of the house, including, as Din found out from some folks, um, Crofer has his hands in all of Callisto's business. So criminal activity, idol activity, the house and the parties and everything. Crofer seems to be eyeball deep in all of it. So, or at least knows something about all of it. You're not really sure the extent of his knowledge of all of it, but you know that he's involved in all of it in some way. And Io, in some, clearly has a hand in the criminal activities and lives at the house. So for the rest of it, yeah, those are kind of the extent of those relationships.
I did have marked down two things that I wanted to point out. One is that when Sten won his gamble, he rolled a 1 on a D100.
I
That's
forgot about that.
in fucking
That's right.
incredible.
That was really
It's
cool.
ridiculous.
And second of all, that there is the most useful bit of information that we managed to get from this whole debacle in Amaranth was that Crofer is trying to track someone down. Was that right? Or is it Io is trying to track someone down?
Um, you found out, you overheard, I believe Alvi overheard Io asking Crofer when to expect somebody by the name of Arhana, and that this person, I believe Alvi heard pronouns. She is looking for an update on how it's going finding Lukash.
Right. Because I was invisible.
Nice. Oh, and since the situation is over, no one has their abilities anymore.
No more invisibility.
But I get to remove all stress to reputation, which is 1. So does that include resistances? Because it says remove like every.
Wait,
Can it?
say that again.
Okay, so my ability for the house's tea thing is that I get to remove all stress to reputation after a thing is over. Does that mean, or maybe it's Fallout? I don't remember. I think it's stress.
I
You
think it's
put it
if you
in.
take Fallout, right? It doesn't. It's like you can remove your reputation.
It says remove all stress marked against reputation at the end of the situation.
Yeah, I think that should include resistance.
Heck yeah, I'm at 0 stress. Well, 0 reputation stress.
I was gonna say, wait, weren't you super high on stress?
No, I'm at 2. Remember how I took all those Fallouts?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
That's fair. Oh, it was Din that was really high and
Din was
almost took
almost.
a
And
super
almost
high.
died.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So see, all my teeny itty bitty fallouts helped you.
In the long
It
run,
was
yeah.
Danksy's charm that saved the day from rolling a like maximum stress reduction.
I forgot that that's gone now.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
sad.
I can always make another, but like I just need the time.
It wouldn't be unique if you made another. That's the problem. We wouldn't be able to destroy it again.
So you'd have to make something else.
Yeah.
Question: would Sten's becoming a luck priest be gaining an advantage by posing as someone
So I don't think Stoles is not fooled, right? Stoles
you're
wanted
not? Sure,
Anders'
sure.
loyalty, so I don't
Yep.
think.
Okay.
Now, on the
Just thought
other
I'd ask.
hand, I mean, when you posed as somebody you weren't and made that one dude believe that you had a child you were trying to send to college and got
That is
now
that is fair.
that's a pretty like pretty small. I'll say you can relieve one stress for that.
Sure. That's great. I will
So
take that.
one of my refreshes before we go and figure out who actually has what stress. One of my refreshes is uncover hidden information. Would would us finding out about Arhana count as uncovering hidden information? The person who's tracking down Lukash.
So I think Alvi discovered that. I don't know if that counts as Edik discovering that. Like it was pretty like Edik was not even really in the building when that,
No, I wasn't.
um so okay, speaking of stress, let's do a stress check. As always, you are welcome to share what your stress level in real life is like. But are you racing? Oh no, I think Ava's on
On the phone.
okay. Um, but I also need to know what your stress in game is. So I have Alfie on the top of my piles of paper. Alfie, how's your stress?
1
To blood, that's what I have.
to yes.
Okay. Din?
0, baby.
Oh.
I don't know if you took those numbers to be my stress at some point, but I was talking to someone on the
I
phone
have
who was
not yet got,
asking.
I just got to you, so tell me your
Oh, cool.
stress.
2 total stress, both to blood.
Great.
Am I still stunned and like dazed and confused and all those fun things?
Um, you took those as fallout. I think that it has it has like a lasting effect. I don't think it's something that you necessarily need to like have a full like, we don't necessarily need to roll fix on it or whatever. It will wear off on its own, but you should, I mean, it's been about 30 seconds. So yeah.
Yeah.
Edik.
1 to mind.
Anders.
3. I have 2 to shadow, 1 to reputation.
Okay, that's what I had. Good job. And Sam and Rachel, I don't know why I complimented you all on telling me your stress levels. Good job, everybody.
I felt really
Did
good
it.
about that though.
Yeah.
Um Oh, geez. So the last one I took was in the compel skill. Um kind of want to get a knack in fight just in case something bad happens and I would really be able would like to be able to, not die.
Huh.
So
Okay.
That's a plan.
we're going to go with fight and like specific situation. I don't know. Do you have any recommendations, Elise?
So you could do like if you're in a particular place against a certain type of enemy, you can do like with a certain type of weapon. Those would be the kind of knacks you would take in fight.
Okay. Fight when I'm dealing with occult stuff.
Okay. Yep. And Rachel?
I was gonna take. Would it be investigate to if I'm like looking if I want to like do whatever I can to make sure we get out of the vault? Okay, like finding my way through it and getting out with that,
I think
or
pursue is used
because I don't know. I
for.
never know if it's like pursue is pursuing a
Yeah,
person
yeah,
or like we're
pursue is tough
pursuing a
because
goal to get
right,
out.
right,
Like,
yeah. And like pursue is hard because like it does kind of say like that I'm kind of trying to like look and
yeah.
see. But I'm one-handed because I have push to talk on. Great. Let me just look. Need to get away or chase someone down. Track them if you lose sight when you're being chased or reposition while in dangerous territory. So yeah, I would say
Okay,
this is
so
pursue.
pursue specifically to get out of the vault.
Okay, to navigate the vault, sure. Okay. Sarah, your makeup is being complimented in chat. Just
Thank you. I had to give a presentation today, and so I said,
how did
I'm
it
going to
go?
use all of this. It went fine. It's just it was like only, for like the institution itself. So it's just like people from all disciplines. So, you know, I it's hard to say.
Fair, fair. Oh. All right. With that, I think. Oh, and don't forget helpful goat things. Oh my God, there's new merch. That's my Stoats and Goats. Feel free to
Goats and
check out
stoats. Yeah.
Goats and Stoats and exclamation point merch. Exclamation point donate. We highlight you know, causes near and dear to us, on a monthly or rotating basis. I think that we're currently supporting Asian American Pacific Islander awareness and anti-racism awareness. So you can check that out, and feel free to join our Discord and hang out with us. There's other scheduling things coming up, like tomorrow, Fates of Rin at 7 or 9 if you're on the East Coast. We'll do the rest later. So let's play. Okay. We're going to jump in with the crew that jumped into the vault because technically Edic having, not expected that we would have to do like an hour by minute play by play with the other group. We kind of played through a lot of Edic's time for the day doing your drug selling, and then we'll check in with Sten up at the Mermaid, and then we'll try and convene everybody so that we can actually move forward as a group. So in the vault, you all have just jumped through, slammed the door on Io, who is attempting to follow you through the door into the vault, and you have tumbled out into an area that you've never been to before, Alvi. And it's you take a minute to kind of look around. You're in a place that is mostly just corridors. It doesn't seem to really have very much stuff. Looks like passages and things. It doesn't take you long to kind of like find one of the corridors because you can feel the wind that connects into the actual Vermisian, to the tunnels and things. And as you kind of like notice that tunnel, you kind of notice in the other direction, there's kind of that sense of unreality that you're very familiar with, and the others would find quite alarming or even hurtful if they stay in it for a long time, kind of more strongly emanating from that direction, meaning that there seems to be something deeper in the vault that way, and then more into the Vermisian, away from the unreality the other way, is kind of what you're dealing with.
So I'm gonna lead them away from the vault towards the Vermisian, because I, as Alvi, still don't know what the fuck is going on and just assume everybody is dying very much around me and that we just need to get the fuck out of here. So
Okay. So you lead the group away into the kind of Vermisian tunnels. And you find the tunnels. If you've been here before, it's hard to say. This is one of those like really generic kind of areas that just like could be a lot of different places. Like I said, a lot of corridors and tunnels, not a lot of anything that's terribly useful for navigating. But if you'd like to kind of roll to figure out where you are, you're welcome to roll. What did we just say? Pursue. You can
Pursue.
take your knack. Yep. And what domain would this be?
No.
You're always helpful. Always helpful.
Occult?
Occult? Because it's the vault?
Yeah, but you're not. You're kind of in the. It's hard.
It should be
None of
something that a Vermisian sage has. Because
well, you're not like the vault and the tunnels
Yeah.
of like the subway or the train are not the same, right? So like you came out in the vault, but you've navigated them into the tunnels, which the differences here, and like given everything else, I think occult is fine, because I am a kind and benevolent GM.
Hashtag Gilly so dreamy.
I keep forgetting. I keep meaning to ask Galway to send me the version of this that doesn't have the hashtag Elise so dreamy, because I'm like, at some point I've got to
No.
switch it to just say Elise.
Oh my god, I never even realized it says it there.
Yeah, it says it on the overlay.
This is beautiful. Nope, never. You're always at least so dreamy.
I think that's 4, right? Or 3?
3. I don't have pursue.
Okay.
Ooh,
So
7.
7, success at a cost, so you take stress. You how do we want to play this? You do find your way, but unfortunately you kind of have to, you're like, hey everyone, hang on, I think I know where I am. And you like start kind of going down the tunnel. And as you like poke your head out into like where you think like, oh, this is probably where we are, you poke your head out directly at a group of people like who are passing by. It looks like possibly, you know, like from the kind of surprised glance up at them, and they kind of like surprised glance at you, like they were not expecting anybody anybody here. You were not expecting anybody here. Everybody is kind of bless you.
Thank you.
Everybody's kind of surprised and startled. They like pull like masks up to cover their faces really fast so that you can't see them, and kind of like give you like a like some like tough guy look, like they're like and you
Sorry,
can-
sorry. It's my mistake. Go on your way, shady travelers.
Bee crawls out of your nose right as you
Yeah.
say that.
And I absolutely tip a hat that I don't have.
you don't have. So you can take 2 to shadow.
2! Oh, because that's what
I
you
rolled it.
I don't know why I yelled it.
I'm so upset about your 2. Where does that put you at 3, or did you have some resistance to shadow?
No, because I already had one of my resistance marks.
Okay, so you're at 3, so I'll roll Fallout. So a 2 or lower. It's a 1.
Fuck. Hey, this is my
course it
first
is.
Fallout of
First
this
Fallout.
season.
Okay, let me.
My last first Fallout, I
The
think
luck
I had,
just
my
does not stop
arm
being bad,
broken,
I
so-
think. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to take the rumor Fallout. So other players, you are to assist me in deciding what the 3 rumors about Alvi that begin to spread are. And since we chose the occult domain, these will spread among the occult domain folks. So the people who saw Alvi have some sort of connection to the occult world and are going to kind of have something to say about Alvi, basically, you know, kind of gaining a bit of a reputation. So what would make sense?
For being lovely.
For being lovely, as she said, shady people, be on your way. So we need 3 kind of low-level rumors that might circulate based on this encounter.
But I used all of my improv creation last night.
Alvi is allergic to bees.
I don't know how they would come to that conclusion.
Because I saw a bee come out of my nose and I sneezed, you know. Okay.
Chu is planning to do a concert in the vault.
No, it has to be related to Alvi.
She's with them.
Alvi is letting normies in the vault.
Alvi is lost in the vault. Just gone. Like totally lost in there. Never coming
Alvi
back.
cheated on her entrance exams into the Vermisian Sage
Take
program.
that back, bitch.
It's a good one.
By good, you mean wrong.
All right, chat. Does anyone in chat have ideas?
Oh no.
I am taking Alvi as just lost in the vault. Alvi actually straight up hates bees.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add to this. I'm going to add Alvi is spying on people in the vault.
Yeah, she's real fucking sneaky.
Alvi
Hello.
can't read.
Hi, shady people. Matt is the worst.
Alvi can't read.
Matt, I'm not gonna be your friend anymore. I need you to know this.
Oh, I think one of them is supposed to be true. What would a true
Oh, well,
rumor about Alvy be?
what?
Alvy sees ghosts is true.
But
Well,
but
Alvy
all
talks to ghosts. I'm
but
gonna
a
put
Alvy
lot
has
that.
of
ghost
people
friends.
a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of
Alvy
people
talks to
see
ghosts.
and talk to ghosts.
Hmm.
But I guess the only negative person that has gotten a reputation from that was Mama Luke's, right? Because isn't she just
Well, she talked to
crazy?
ghouls. So not a lot of people talk to ghosts. Some priests talk to ghosts, and it takes a lot of doing to talk to ghosts. So, like, saying that like Alvy talks to ghosts would actually be something kind of significant for some people. So, I think I'm gonna add that one too.
Matt says Alvy hit a guy with her car and just kept fucking driving. So that.
Okay, so we're
Fucking
taking
Alvy.
Alvy is just lost in the vaults. Alvy is spying on people in the vaults, and Alvy talks to ghosts.
Oh, I was really hoping we were going for the cheating on the entrance exams.
The cheating on the entrance exams is very good, but I don't want necessarily these people to be actual Vermisian sages. So, okay, great. So you can go ahead and refresh 3 stress from that fallout
Yay.
because it was minor fallout.
Okay, hold on. Do.
Always says the bees are held against their wills.
You take that back.
Okay. So yeah, you do find out exactly where you are, but in so doing, you kind of have this odd, awkward run-in with people who now have your face description and are saying things about you. Like, I'm pretty sure that, that person was just lost, or I'm pretty sure she's talking to somebody like that. Okay. And yeah, but you know kind of where you are and where to go. And
Yeah, I'm not lost.
I think that makes it worse. They're like, oh gosh, she's definitely lost. Like, I'm not lost. But you do actually in the kind of investigation that you've rolled besides like finding your way to kind of like this more main area, you also notice some of those markings that you've discovered in the past from the sage Serenade, something like that. What do we name her? And you're able to kind of follow some of those markings. They do take you back part contributing to the lost. They see you like come out and then follow the markings like back into the tunnel. But if you follow the tunnel actually back a little bit closer to the unreality, is where you find the rest of the markings to kind of get you into where you would need to go to kind of more quickly travel through the vault. And you can take your friends back to, if you're going to head to the gardens.
I have probably been talking the whole time too. Like, I've just been pointing out all of the things that I see, including the shady people that I just saw.
She would have
And
definitely told you to shut up like 2 minutes into it. Not that I don't like Alvy, but I think she would.
so then I might just be whispering under my breath to myself about all of the things that I see and the cool stuff that I know about where we are. Just continually. Yeah.
But you're taking everybody to perch. Is that the end point?
And I went down. Yes, and I went down to 0 stress. I didn't get rid of resistance.
Okay. Yeah. So, Din, Chu, and Alvy, you guys, the 3 of you, make your way to perch, and you come out in the same place you came out last time, even though you took a different entry point. It's kind of a strange, weird thing of the vault and this kind of fast travel system that you're starting to learn is that they're like, despite entering it from a totally different spot, you're exiting it in the same spot that you exited before, and you come out in the perch, not too far from Alvy's workshop.
We're alive! We made it, and everything's great. Everything's great, yes? What time is it?
She immediately just walks off and she's like, I'm leaving. Oh, we can meet tomorrow. I'm so done. And she just leaves. And she's just headed back to her apartment to sleep off the day.
And Alvy is absolutely going to look at Din as though Din is going to talk to her or commiserate with her at all. and just be like, "Oh, she seems really mad, doesn't she? I mean, we really had to force her away there."
You did good. Thank you. I walk off to my apartment.
Alvy literally just stares at your back and just like, "Thanks, Mom."
Huge deal.
Oh yeah, literally just can't like. Yeah, the
And
bees are
then
going nuts.
Alvy goes home and talks to ghosts.
Yeah,
Y'all will
ghosts and
never believe
Ralpha.
what happened today.
All
I'm just
right.
gonna continually pretend like, because I know that ghost is there. I'm just gonna talk out loud all the time about all of these things because I'm just assuming that they want to know.
To be
So
fair, you were talking out loud when the ghost wasn't there, so I think it fits Alvy's character just fine.
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
All right, so back to the Silver Quarter, where I keep wanting to say Anders because it's like on the thing right in front of me, but not Anders, but Sten has left, I believe, the mermaid, following getting kind of very unceremoniously brought into
Yep.
the. I think it was like essentially like they rummaged around, picked the first scarf that they came across and threw it at you, and were like, "Surprise! It's red and gold or whatever." So you know, befitting of a luck deity.
Um, I'm trying to think. So I want to. So I would have been out front, um, doing my air quote preaching thing until it was clear that the group probably wasn't going to be coming back my way, and I was alone. Um, Probably wasn't for very long, maybe like an hour tops. But before I went back to Perch, I wanted to see if there was something or some things I could go buy. I want to see specifically. I would want to go to like a black market deal, like we did last season, and see if I could pick myself up some Elfier garb, so a mask and some fine clothes. And the other thing I wanted to get was a winter sword. This is in the Strata book. It's page 39.
Okay, which one is it? Oh, Winter Sword, you said.
Winter sword. Yep.
Elise smiles maniacally.
um, I'm trying to build myself a cover should I need it with the money I've amassed.
Okay, interesting. So the Alfir garb, you know where to go. You have
Mhm.
criminal contacts. You've done this before. You have experience establishing covers. So you know where to go. You know how to get there. I think that that's fairly straightforward for you to get. You can let's see, the place that you know of, you pop in, you kind of make sure you're not being followed. And it's got a few things. You kind of have to give the password or whatever and get to the back, and
Mhm.
same as before. And you get there and there are like some kind of generic masks that are kind of high elf masks. They're the kind that like high elves without a lot of money would buy because they're kind of like almost mass produced. So there's not actual mass production
Mhm.
on these, but it's like, there's four of the same kind here. So these would be like
Sure.
high elves who don't have much status or money might kind of go for this to like, if they're going to go somewhere where they hope that people wouldn't realize like this is kind of a common mask. They've got a few of
Mhm.
those. Those are pretty cheap comparatively. And then they've got one that the guy, the drow who's selling them to you is like, That one there, that one's a true mask of a dead Alfir. Don't worry, not from the city, came from the front lines of the war, but true mask, not that's that's hard to get. Remember, if you're gonna do the true mask thing and like, and
What's that one?
you want
That one.
the true mask, you
Oh,
want
oh
that?
yeah. Yeah, as soon as he mentions the war, uh immediately like that's it. That's the one.
Well, that one's gonna run you a bit more. It's one's a bit more expensive, so that one would cost that one's gonna mark like let's see, it would be a reasonable amount. Um so in addition, you would know that most high elves wear their true mask somewhere on their body and then have another mask on. So he kind of he pulls it down and hands it to you to inspect, and then says, "And don't forget, you're gonna want another mask so that you're not that you blend in. Unless you already have one, in which case, do your thing."
Oh no, I'll take and if there's one, I'm fine with the generic one, I guess.
Okay.
If I need
Yeah,
to buy another one.
there's yeah, I think that he's got those kind of four that were all kind of like very similar, more produced. So you can pick the one that looks kind of like the most unique among them. And he says, yeah, between between that lot, that's gonna be three. It'll be like it'll cost you three resistances. But he's like, but
Sure.
you're a good friend, a good customer, and I know you're probably gonna need. And he pulls out some robes and things, some nice clothes. And he's like, listen, you've got the generic mask, you've got the true mask. I think these are just what you need. And he pulls out some kind of nice, like golden yellow, mostly, like embroidered, kind of really nice robes. And they have it has kind of like this high collar that's very fashionable. They're nicer than what you would normally get for the price he's offering, and he's basically offering all of that for 4 silver resistances, as opposed to it would cost a little extra normally to buy them separate. So it's kind of a package deal.
Sure, yeah, I will gladly take that. So that's going to bring me down from 8 to 4 uh, silver resistance
It's funny because we
slots.
only ever talk about it in like meta language. We don't have like a set amount of like what
Yeah.
counts as like how many sten is 1 silver resistance. I don't know. Okay. Um, yeah, the merchants kind of. Is there anything else that interests you here?
Uh, do I know if this seller would have anything uh close to Winter Sword, or am I gonna have to go elsewhere for that, do you think?
Um, yeah, so a winter sword, this is going to be hard to track down. They
Mhm.
are they're masterpieces. These are sought after weapons made by renowned weaponsmiths kind of
Yep.
thing. So this is not the kind of thing that you can typically find at a black market. This is more of, well, I mean, like it is on the black market, but like it's more of a thing that you would go to like a collector or a like that kind of black market, somebody who is
Sure.
known for kind of like their collecting rarities, oddities, things like that. um so this is not that, this is somebody who has some
Sure.
illegal wares in their back room, not a collector. So I think to find someone who would, um let's see, have that. Hmm. Can roll investigate, um and high society or crime. Your choice.
I have both. Let's do investigate in high society then. I don't know if it's gonna net me different info, but okay, so it's gonna be 3d10. Oh, that's not great.
No, not great. Okay, so that is a failure. So you spent some time asking around, kind of tapping, some contacts, asking if people know. And I think that you're gonna draw some attention doing this.
Yep.
It's rolling slowly. One, because
Sure.
I only ever roll ones for stress unless it's
Oh.
unless it's Rachel. But yeah, you can take one stress, and we're gonna put it to reputation.
Got it. That's going to put me at 2 reputation stress then. And that's going to put me at 4 total.
Okay, 4 total. Where did my pencil go? So 4 total stress, and I will roll fallout. If it's a 3 or lower, you take fallout on this.
God damn it.
It's a 3. We're really just so
So
unlucky
much
with those
fallout.
rolls. Yeah, y'all have really kind of. Oh, this is the wrong book. Hang
You know
on.
what? I'd rather take the minor fallout now than just let it build up.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we'll take the lie to justify your actions. You tell a lie which will cause a problem this or next session. So
Okay.
as you kind of like talking to your contacts, trying to people are like, well, Sten, like, why are you even like that kind of sword? Like, what would a guy like you're just a low level, grunt for what's his name down in Red Rose, who's after a winter sword? That's like high elf stuff. And that's the kind of questions you're getting that you're now kind of like, oh, I have to
Push to
respond.
talk.
Thank you.
I saw you using both your hands.
Those are the kind of questions you're getting that you would have to kind of respond to, that you'll have to lie here.
Sure. Would you prefer like a I'm doing my best to lie or like a spur of the moment stupid lie?
It just whatever works for you. It's going to cause a problem at some point for you. So how you play it. If it's like a stupid lie, will cause a different kind of problem than like a good lie, right? So your call.
I think spur of the moment he's gonna say, oh well, it's a winter sword. I work for Mr. Winter's gang. I figured it'd be a nice gift for him. I've been away for a bit, so I thought you'd like something like that.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. So I believe that is it. Okay, and you head back to Perch at this point?
and then how much stress do I get rid of here?
3. You can, erase 3. So
Okay.
are you down to just 1?
Depends. I think we're gonna be at 2, and it's gonna be 2 to reputation. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove 2 from shadow, and then
Okay.
1 of my resistance slots.
Okay. My dog, sorry. I don't know if anyone heard that. She's real excited. I think
did.
Mark's going to take her for a walk. Okay. So then Sten heads back to Perch, and you all go to bed, rest, do whatever you need to do. And we will pick up with in the morning at the meeting place. Why don't we take a break? People can. Oh, go ahead. Yes, Ava.
Before that, I want to go buy some stuff if I can. Simple
Yes.
stuff.
So the thing is, buying some things is already on several people's agenda. So I would
Oh, okay.
encourage
We'll
you
go
all
together.
to convene and talk about buying things before you buy things. And Sten, because you were already in the silver quarter, it made sense. But I think for the follow-up shopping, I would just recommend that you do it together, or talk
Shopping
about it.
montage.
Shopping time. Okay. So let's take a break. We will be back in about 10 minutes, so around 8:15, 10:15. And yeah, thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you in a little bit. Hi, everyone. I did not give my players very much warning. I said, here we go. And then I just went, we were live.
I
So,
like that Galway does the gentle
yeah,
countdown, and
3,
you're just like,
2,
let's
and I'm
go.
like,
Hello.
all right, here we go. Hey. It's because I'm not together enough to count it down. If I counted it down, I would have to do, like the 0.5, 0.3 as I like figure out what buttons to push. And so it's just when I have the buttons ready, I push them. Hi everybody,
Yes.
we're back. Let's see. We're going to convene with the players at their little hidey hole that Lukash, their now MIA Magister, introduced them to in the very first episode. Or session. Tyler, would you be Sten or Anders at this meeting?
That's a great question. Probably Anders at this point, I think.
Okay.
Just like, you've been Sten
That feels
Does
long
right.
that
enough.
mean you're gonna roll stress again right now?
No. To go back to Anders is always free because
Oh,
Anders doesn't have any domains.
nice.
But when I want to take a domain on, that's when I will stress.
Gotcha.
So Elise, I know you had a lot planned, but I have one thing planned, and I just have to get this in there real fast. This is the first time I will have you all know that Edic has been the first to arrive. In fact, he has already got a full spread out. He was like he feels good about himself. He got like some breakfast biscotti, and there's like tea's already out, so the moment you guys leave you can all get your abilities once we know what the heck we're doing. He's feeling real good, so
Mhm.
just get ready to ruin that for him. Anyway, Elise, go for it.
Okay. As always, you're welcome to shift around. You don't have to sit in the chairs that I can put it on map cams, so that people at home can also see what we're looking at. But
Alvy
just for a
definitely
second.
tries to sit in the exact same chair every time.
Okay. Yes. I never intend for you to have to sit in these chairs. It's
You're
just
muted.
like
She was
I'm
definitely
muted.
gonna get there early. I was muted, sorry. She was
No,
definitely gonna
Italy.
get there early and try to destroy Alvy's chair.
I fucking knew it.
Like petty revenge.
Okay.
Fucking cheater.
Yeah, so Edic is already there, Chu, when you arrive. And you know that Alvi typically sits right over here.
Not anymore.
I'm not even gonna destroy it with like a kiss. She was just gonna like take it outside and just like beat it to death. Like really go hard on this with her frail little arms. And then she'll come back in like all disheveled and be like, ah, I feel better, okay? And she'll sit down.
Oh no.
Okay. Well, another oh my gosh. Another chair bites the dust.
Elise, Alvy's gonna come in and she's gonna see that her chair is missing. And she's gonna stop for a minute and just kind of like freeze and just be like, And then she's gonna pick up this chair and she's gonna bring it over here. And she's gonna sit in that chair, but in her spot.
Chu just nods, yeah.
And she doesn't say, like, Alfie doesn't say anything, just stands still and stares and thinks for a little while, and then just quietly picks up the chair and then moves it and then sits and just...
Din would enter the room very quietly and sneakily so that like nobody heard, nobody saw the door open. Just I kind of skulk in the corner to try to get a read on like, how are people feeling? Are they mad at me? What am I walking into here? Then suddenly you just like notice me, and I just walk and I go and sit in my chair.
Okay.
I wave.
Sit down.
Yeah, I guess that means that that Anders is last in. Super paranoid today, given all the bullshit that Sten got up to, and he doesn't even know what the rest of the group had going on. So like, can't wait for that. Um, but went for like the extra layer of the bandages to hide the face today, and really like quadruple check to make sure he wasn't followed everywhere. So he's like moving at the speed of a snail. Finally comes inside. He sees the kind of tea arrangement. Says nothing to anyone, and fixes a thing of tea and brings it directly to Edic, even if Edic's already got like tea going on. Just puts it down. Just the most awkward you've ever seen Anders look as he, takes off his shit. Um, want to be the first to apologize for Sten. Um, very unprofessional, and hopefully not going to happen again.
What
So,
happened? Did he-
Well, he did decide that my alias should be Sturge. so, so, yes, no apologies necessary, but next time, let me do the name deciding.
He gamble away things that we needed? I mean, that is pretty atrocious, the name, but I'm assuming that's not exactly what you're apologizing for. Was it gambling? It was probably gambling. I bet it was gambling.
he did gamble. I really just there's probably like a stray scarf piece sticking out of his bag that he's gonna like jam back in there so that nobody sees. Nothing happened. Oh, he gambled a bit, yeah, but it's to be expected. He's a compulsive gambler and he needs help. Um, so we're down to business then, and just really just tries to pull it together. Takes out notes and shit that he hastily scribbled by candlelight last night. Do we want to get closer to the swan, or do we want to
We
try?
almost killed Callisto Brox. There was a lot happened.
It's too early in the morning for jokes, Alvy. We need to. I appreciate the early morning humor, but
Excuse me?
yeah, there was an incident. I had to release the bees. We escaped with our
The
lives.
metaphorical bees, yes? Not the, you little...
No, the actual bees that
Oh.
exist inside my body, like this. And I'll pull some out. And so it was just things were going okay until they weren't, and everything was fine, and Din was getting information, and then suddenly the swan was there, and then suddenly there was a punch thrown, and then suddenly there were bees, and it was a lot.
We knew this the swan was going to be there.
Well, yes, it was. I don't.
I thought we were supposed to do this quietly. Why was there a fight in the first place?
But I didn't start it.
Sten and I, we had the out parts. We had to come up with alternative identities and work for him. I risked life and limb selling an awful lot of drugs.
How well did the cutting go?
Oh, it was beautiful. No
Good.
problem.
Glad to hear it.
But this, I am very confused. Chew, you let this happen.
Oh no, I had a great plan. It would have turned out really well, but
Din,
I was assaulted by Din
D-
and forced to stop
that
everything. Sorry, not by Din, by Alvi. I know that's shocking, but
Also by Din.
also, well, Din didn't really assault me as much as carry off my limp, useless body after you repeatedly dragged me into a crowd right before I had a chance to kill Callisto Brock.
all right. So
She was like she's like glower, like totally like
just let me put some dots out on the map and let's see if they connect here. So Tick and I went in there, a deal, scored away. We walk away with a decent bit of cash and a lot of drugs.
You weren't there to make cash or drugs.
And then there was an immediate attempt on Callisto's life.
It wasn't immediate.
This was pretty immediate.
Some stuff. It was not.
Within
There was discussion.
what would you say, 10
She
minutes
pulls
to
out
a
like a
half
pebble
hour
and like
before
throws it at
after we
you.
left?
Alvi, shut up. Uh,
One day you thank me for saving your life.
No.
Right.
One day.
Well, my head's feeling a little light-headed right now. Where is my charm?
Chu throws another pebble at Eddic. Shut up. It's gone.
I look like, just like,
Chu gets ready to throw a pebble at Din and then puts it back in her hand and thinks twice. I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
All right. No, this is fine. We can
Okay,
work
I'll
with
run
this.
you through what happened.
Um,
We were talking with Gopher, whatever his name was, and
You talked with a gopher.
is a person named God, what was it?
Grofer.
Dofers.
Dofer? I think it was Dofer. You're right, Alvia. And fuck you, Alvi. And I'm not agreeing with you. And we got into trouble because Callisto came out with that one lady who you were meeting, Xander's, because you guys couldn't keep them like occupied for long enough or something. Who knows, really? It's basically all your fault. But then things started to kind of spiral out of control. As you could imagine, it was kind of difficult to get away from that.
Why
And
were you around? I
we
thought
just
you were
ended up
supposed to
in
be
the
keeping
same
a
room.
low profile.
We were.
We
I wasn't around.
were with Callisto when we didn't start, didn't have the need to release any metaphorical bees on our end.
Well,
So
you
I kind
weren't
of
with all
literal
three of
ones,
them.
apparently.
Yeah, well,
It started.
so
They were dragging.
so
They.
Alvi
Alvi,
doesn't
I'm
know
not
what
blaming
happened.
you. I'm just using the metaphorical bees as a bit of a,
Alvi had her eyes closed the whole time. I was
Yeah,
talking
I
off
think
on the side.
Callisto tried to fight Din, and Din had to fight back. I don't.
Uh,
All I know is
I-
I heard punches, so that's when I opened my eyes.
yeah, we needed a distraction, and I may have gotten caught causing the distraction, and then because who I am, I was outed. But thinking like a professional, I started a party outside the estate as a distraction. And like I needed a reason to be there, otherwise we'd be outed. And so I was like, this is all just a big ruse for me to it's like a big throwdown between me and Callisto, and we're collabing with this, and I hyped the crowd up. And then these two clowns took me away, and she's just like, Chu is just like, she like gets out of her chair and like feebly flips it over and just like, I need to walk, and she just leaves.
After Chu leaves, Alvi is definitely going to lean and whisper, "She was going to die. She was going to die. There was no actual survival. There was no beating Callisto. It was. I know that she's mad, and I understand we make a lot of mistakes, but she was going to die."
At this, Eddic is going to remove his Penrose triangle and just place it on the table in front of him. And what do you make of this, Byron? I am floored. This, I, there's almost no. I have no idea what to do with this. I thought, we get in close and then we strike. Apparently, there is no striking now. I don't know.
I talked to his demon.
Yeah, I was asking, but Elise, you're muted.
I know. I was looking
Like
something
waiting
up
for
in
a
the book, and I was like,
response.
oh, they're just chatting amongst themselves. I have a minute to look something up. What? That's what Byron says. What?
Was he still sleeping? Is that what I'm to gather?
Yeah, you hear like a big, like, jaw cracking yawn. Sorry, babe.
Okay, you know what, Byron? We can talk about this later, but go back to sleep.
I'm really sorry, Sam. I was so focused on finding what I needed to find.
That's okay.
So
Okay.
I think that
So
I was standing there. My eyes were closed. I heard the conversation, and then there were punches. So it was Din and talking, and I don't know what happened with the punches, but that's when I opened my eyes and appeared, and then they tried to drag me into the room that you guys had been in, and I didn't want to be dragged into the room. So then I released the bees so that I could leave. And then we all just tried to leave, but then Chew didn't want to leave, so then there was a lot of fighting with Chew.
Alvi. So this is a tragedy, no? But yes, it is awful. But
She's very mad at me, and I feel like I was just trying to protect her, and I don't understand why I did my best.
But of everything that is happening, that has happened, I would say, apart from releasing the bees, you were probably the least responsible for the events happening. Um, but what I think is important now, Anders, do we continue with what we were doing?
I have options. Got two, got three technically. Two involving Bertold, three. The third is a little. Well, it's a bit more direct. So it depends on what we all think is the best bet. Two involving Bertold. One, we continue the ruse. Bertold goes and gets the necessary supplies for Callisto and delivers them. Two, and this is a partial question for Elise. During Bertold's time with the Morticians, I know that there was kind of talk of activity towards girls in general. Was there anyone who was big, what was there the loudest voice of that faction in the Morticians that I might be able to say with some confidence that might be able to be an ally against the Swan with us? Or
So a lot of the like anti-idol sentiment that was happening was kind of among the like older and kind of like it's people who are concerned with like the protection of the reputation of the morticians. So it's a lot of like the older and like kind of in charge groups. But as for like a lot of them aren't necessarily interested, like the anti-idol sentiment was not specifically like bring down the Swan. It was more keep the idols separate from the morticians because we can't have people thinking that we're catering to fame and fortune so obviously. because it's really bad for business when you broadcast that when you're supposed to be priests equally serving everybody.
Right.
So I think that like Bertold could probably like find people who would have like a personal grudge against the swan, maybe among the morticians, like maybe one or two folks, but it might be pretty hard to leverage them to do something because the whole point is that they don't want to be associated at all.
Got it. Okay, cool. I just wanted to see if the option 2 would have even be an option. So cool. That's good to know. Probably not worth the risk then. So the
I too was going to grab something at like a local like stand of like that offers like food or drinks of any kind, and then immediately walk back. So just tell me when I could like jump back in.
Yeah, probably pretty much now. With
Okay,
your
she's gonna like kick the door down, put the drink in front of Alvy, and just be like, I don't forgive you, but in the interest of our professional relationship and the fact that I may have done something possibly incorrect, however hard that is to conceive, I will move on. And then she goes back to her seat and she grabs one last pebble and throws it at Alvy and is like, still fuck you though. And then she kind of sits down and she's like, okay, I'm sorry. Where were we? Let's deal with reality now.
Alvy just
the
stares at the drink. It's
Drink
just
it.
like,
It's
the
an
uh,
apology drink. I'll be offended if you don't. It's eggplant flavored.
oh, that's good. Good.
the other more
She just has tears coming down her face. Drinks it.
direct option, just trying to just keep this train moving. He takes out the very ornate Elfir True Mask and just kind of places it on the table. I could ask Lombre to give me a new face. Not gonna lie, it's gonna hurt like hell, but if we want to go to the very top, that's probably the quickest route. Go to a hall of records, get the name of whoever hired the Knolls, take that information direct to the source.
Oh,
We
I
cut
share
out.
all the information that I
Uh,
learned about Lukash and the person,
Arhana.
that one.
Arcana, yeah.
I share all of that too, so that that I overheard about it, Arhana, and looking for Lukash and still not being able to find them, so that's good. But yes, somebody named Arhana. That could be very promising. I don't know. It doesn't sound familiar to me, but I don't know that many people. Does it sound familiar to anybody else? Maybe. Is anybody? Probably not. It's probably a high elf, actually, now that I think about it. Weren't we looking for a high elf? I'll be quiet now.
Actually, Arhana strikes you as a drow name. Not necessarily exclusively, but you know that a lot of times the Elfir have these kind of like bizarre, especially like last names, and they have, uh, dancing in winter leaves and things like that. And using just a first name for a high elf would be pretty unusual from someone like EO and Crofer among themselves, even talking about like a business partner and stuff. They would probably have said like Lady so and so or something if they were talking about someone they respect. And so for those reasons, you would probably conclude Arhana is most likely a drow.
Never mind, drow. That's what I meant to say. I was just so distracted by this delicious eggplant drink that was so kindly given to me that my brain got a little scrambled. I think there's actually some scramble in here. It's fine. But so, yes, this drow woman is possibly looking for Lukash, and I don't know if that's important or interesting, or Anders, if you could do anything with that name or know anything about that, or I interrupted you while you were in the middle of telling your plan, but I just suddenly remembered everything that I'd actually heard.
All of that is very, very helpful. I'm sure. I'm sure we could use that name in the right circles. Dropped. I'm sure that would go a long way. So that's good to know. But we could hypothetically try and cut out the middleman altogether with Callisto and try and go right to the source. This, I mean, we know uh, from what was his name? The mortician that y'all murdered. From Theon.
Theon.
Theon. From Theon that
Greyjoy.
Greyjoy. Yep.
Not Theon, it's Theon.
Theon, but you know, that the no, that was something that Bertold knew. That the Elfir, whoever it was like dying, was looking for a alternative to undying surgery. Am I getting that right, Elise?
Looking for means to extending life that are not undying surgery, yes. The undying surgery this person seems to think is beneath them, too crude, too ugly of a thing, and wants an alternative for living forever that is not undying surgery.
Oh, well, at this, of thinking it over, Anders is gonna kind of just, slap himself on the head and just, what do we know that the swan takes all his victims?
I'm sorry, what was that question?
What do we know that the swan takes from all his victims?
Their heart, or
They're live.
The art is very important.
And
well, you do
if
need it to
someone's
live, yes.
someone's looking to prolong their life, might have a bad one of these. Fill in the blank here, I think, is
A bad time.
heart. I think it's they're looking for a heart.
Are they a scarecrow or a tin man? Which one? Tin man's the one that was one of the heart. The scarecrow, I don't remember. It's been a really long time. Apparently, thought I had that one
I
more
think
in
it's
the
the
chamber.
Tin
Man wants the heart. Scarecrow wants the
Tin
brain.
Man, yeah.
Okay.
Who's
Feels
this
right.
Tin Man? This Elfia too? Oh, okay.
Oh,
All
sorry.
right.
My brain literally was like, "What are you asking?" Oh. It's like I can't answer that. Okay, it's fine. Sorry.
I don't know if we can do anything with that information, but that's maybe something.
So,
I don't know.
so how again will we go about finding this person that, as is giving this one the orders?
So know that we can figure out who's been hiring the Knolls if we go to the Hall of Records or a Hall of Records. There was a place that we were told we could go. We get that name, and we'll either know we'll either be one step closer to the Elfia at the top, or possibly go directly to them, and then I will be able to get much closer than any drow could with this, and I gesture to the mask. After all, I am a war hero, so that's that.
I spent much time with the Elfir. Could offer more tips. They seemed to come in handy last time.
The closest I ever got to an Elfir, well, the last time, there was a bit of a coup. That did. Ace, you're muted if you said anything.
I was saying just a small one, just a small coup.
Oh.
just a no bitty one. So yeah, I'd like guess etiquette training is probably the best way to go there.
I'm
Um,
sorry, I absolutely did not hear you there, Tyler.
etiquette training is probably the best way to go there. Sorry, diction is not Anders's strong suit. Um,
Got it.
um, are we thinking that this is probably the best route here, or should we go the told route?
How does
None of the
oh,
above.
I was trying to put together the heart and time and life thing. What was this route?
So Anders has offered uh, three options. The third is none of the above. But option A is do exactly what Callisto wanted me to do in the first place, which was get my contact, being Bertold, to go to New Heaven, get the supplies that uh, Callisto
Yeah.
needs to do the murders, bring it on back down to him. Or option two is I go through Rite of Many Faces to create a new persona, which would be an Elfir. We go to basically to like the Hall of Records or whatever to get the name of whoever hired the Knolls, which would hopefully end up leading us to the person at the top who's presumably controlling Callisto. So that one would hopefully be more of a direct
Can we do
be rather
both?
than going through Callisto. It would take a shit ton of stress out of Anders, but possibly.
Well, do we need Bertold to get the supplies if we're getting them for the swan?
Uh, you because I would need to go into the mortician like storerooms
Well,
and
we have
leave without
contacts at the
anyone.
morticians. Those two young, sweet
Right.
baby beans.
Oh, yeah, I totally remember their names.
One of them is our best friend ever, though. So
yeah. Halim.
Helene
Halim.
I
and
And
remembered
Mara.
it.
and
I
Mara.
only remembered it because of that dumb meme that I made, and I remembered specifically that it said Halim in it. So
Oh my god.
We could maybe like contact them and offer to set up like a sting to catch what's his face, red-handed and get the supplies from them as part of like as an offering to the morticians. And then at the same time say like we got an offer to do this. We have no interest in doing this, but it's in our interest to catch the person doing it. And then at the same time, you could maybe ask as payment in return to get audience with an Aelfir so you can copy their persona, and then we go to the office to get all the stuff
Oh, I can just do the Elfir thing
on your
right
own.
now, today. Yeah.
Oh,
The thing with the morticians, if we were to go that route, uh, Callisto, I'm sure word would reach back to him. The channels that I went through to procure this, and especially if there was a sting operation, and it was known that supplies were either left or oopsie daisy, the storeroom was left open because we asked people to, that kind of thing. Um, the more people we involve, the sloppier it could become. So if we're trying to get in his good graces, we probably want it done probably by Bertold because he's not going to tell anyone. Isn't going to be a liability down the road.
well, we don't really care
Listo
about his
won't.
good graces. We just want.
We will if we want him to eventually take us to whoever
I mean,
his.
we killed the last guy, and he gave us plenty of info.
You
true.
you also just tried to kill Callisto very blatantly in the
That was
streets
a
and
backup
almost
plan.
died
The other
yourself.
option was all of us die, so you can pick from those two.
I'm saying it's not that simple.
She was gonna throw a
You
pebble
can't
at
just
you.
leave
Let's.
you can't just leave a string of
Yes,
bodies
you
in your
can.
wake and expect no
My
consequences.
entire life is a consequence-free string of bodies left in its wake. Okay,
Eric,
let's go.
Eric is going to take a very, very long and drawn out and audible sip of tea. And and when he finishes taking this sip, whatever we decide to do, I have but one humble request. And then he's going to look to Anders. I understand you have channels by which I could acquire better weaponry, perhaps armor, things that if we are getting ourselves into sticky situations, I would rather my risked life and limb to be better off. And considering the state of disarray of the rest of our party, maybe it would be in all of our best interests to be more well equipped next time we try to take someone down. Sorry. Takes another sip.
I mean,
She
I was
throws a
pretty good.
pebble at you.
So you want access to the good shit then, Etic?
I do not see why not, you know.
Well, my contacts are very, very discreet. I suppose I feel like I can trust you on now more than I did when I met you, even though I mean, still saying something considering what it's. I'm gonna give you the
I mean,
password. I'm just gonna give you the.
I'm not going to speak too highly of myself, but let's be honest, I have the best track record of anyone here.
That's not
Made
true.
me
You know me
proud.
very well. You know me very well, and you know that I am not a liar, and that I am very trustworthy. Thank you very much. Don't speak ill of me in front of my very good friend Anders. He knows better.
Etic made me proud. Cut the drugs well. I'm gonna
He
give you
just
the
looks at you
password.
sad.
Elfie, you already know the password. Don't look at me all sad. It's
I
you
want
know
a
it.
password too. I saved all of our lives.
You all can have the password. No one. If you say anyone sent you, you say it was Sten. You do not say it was Anders. That man does not know Anders.
Okay.
The less I know, the better.
Bertold sent me?
Sten.
He
Bertold
can't even get the
has never
name
seen
right.
the
I mean,
inside
are
of
you
a
sure you can
place.
trust him? He can't even just. It's only two names, and he can't even remember the difference between them. I mean.
Speaking of Sten, is there or Anders, I suppose it doesn't have to be in Sten. Were you going to look again for the Winter Sword? Would this
If I
contact be someone that you would tap is my question for that.
probably, yeah. Yeah. One more crack at it. Effectively, like I have the costume, but I think the sword is really gonna sell it.
Right.
Um,
So I just to point out as well, like this type of weapon would be commonly used among the Elfir.
yes,
And
yeah,
Din did mention to you earlier that like she knows a lot of the Elfir, and so if you wanted to also like see if anybody in the group might know,
yes,
just wanted to kind of
yeah,
not to meta too much here,
yes.
but point out that that
Mhm.
would be a connection I think Anders could make pretty easily.
Yeah, so Anders is going to kind of explain to the group kind of what he's doing to put together this Elfir persona. he explains that the mask is a war mask. This was someone who had served in the Knoll Wars and had died. He is looking to kind of play up a returning war hero who is now a duelist. They fight in honor duels, and he is looking for a specifically, it's called a winter sword. It's I believe I need to double check exactly the thing, but it's basically dedicated to the Winter Mother, I believe it is, right?
Which is one part
Elise,
of
am I
the
getting that right?
solar basilica, yeah.
Yes, yeah, which is the Elfir's kind of big religion. The Drow have Dam now. And the Elfir have the
The solar
Solar Basilica,
pantheon,
is it?
yeah. It's like the
Or the Solar Pantheon.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, so each of the four
Uh,
deities pattern after the four seasons.
hmm. So yeah, I lay that all out
Yeah.
there. If anybody has contacts in any of those realms that might
Yeah.
help.
So Din, you aren't sure that this weapon itself would be one that this person would have, but you know from your time spent among the high elves that there are several high elf collectors who love to have that kind of stuff around. Some of who there's two that stand out to you. One you've only heard rumors of, but you have heard rumors of a high elf collector who may be loyal to the ministry.
Yes! I
And
was wondering when this was gonna show up again.
and the other would be a
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. And I was like, why is Sam so excited? Oh,
I was literally thinking about this the whole time we were like, let's go for weapons. The ministry has a whole arsenal now.
the other is a high elf who works in like business. So this would be someone who is a trader, a merchant, and typically this like they are someone who also is more willing to work with drow and anybody for a good price. So you wouldn't be as worried about like, do we have to steal? Do we have to fake somehow getting this? Like they'll sell you anything if you have the money for it, kind of thing. And those are the two people who kind of come to mind. Yeah.
did Anders share that he's trying to build an Elfir
Yes, he said
Yeah.
that.
Yep. Yep.
You specifically shared that? Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if it was Tyler sharing it or Anders.
Yes.
Am I
Yeah.
that far?
That was Anders, and specifically on person on advice for personality traits. He is going to and to you, Alvi, for that, Alvi, because he goes to you for everything
Yeah, Alvy's
when he's building these.
gonna lean into you and
Um,
just say, just so you know, one of the things that's lesser known about the Aelfir is that they actually take regular ice baths because they say that it cools their blood and it helps to soothe the mind. So maybe just always have very taut nipples and you could just say you just got out of the ice bath. That would really sell it.
that is
Um,
splendid advice, Alvi. Thank you very much.
Chu spent quite a bit of time, I think, around Elfir. I think she would be hesitant to give any negative traits because she doesn't want the person to, like, because of her circumstances during that time, she doesn't want anything like that. But if there's any like neutral or positive traits that she could contribute, I think she would try to dig for those. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
I mean, we can certainly have like a Din and Chu give Anders advice on how to be a good high elf montage too. Do we want to try to like get to shopping tonight? Because we've got about
Yeah.
30 minutes tonight, just FYI. So okay, sorry, Din, did you want to follow up on the two people that you're kind of aware of with Anders?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Sten is the one who had all the extra resistance, the silver resistance, right? And you did use at least some of it. That doesn't carry over, right?
I have 4 left.
Okay.
I have 2 slots like as the character, and then I have 2 extra still. So
I have 1 silver resistance as well. So I think that going, I would suggest that going to the person that we could buy it from is going to be easiest, even though it's a little bit more leaving a trail, right? But I would suggest doing that since there was so much trouble before.
mhm,
Trying to do something in a little more legitimate way, let the heat die down,
mhm.
not cause any extra problems by getting caught doing something. That's what I would suggest. So I would say the things that Elise said, give both options, but then suggest that probably buying is going to be the better thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, you're now aware of kind of two potential routes to get the sword.
Mhm.
Given the rumors that this high elf collector is someone from the ministry, you also know that you could, try to find them through the ministry as someone who works for them, that they would possibly direct you to that person, if you were
Mhm.
to. But without Lukash, it's a little bit more difficult. But you could go actually to the ministry and track them down, or you can use this contact that Din is aware of, to see if
Mhm.
they have access. For the rest of you, if you want, or for anyone who wants to go shopping, who all would be accompanying Edic for a shopping trip?
Again, I am only necessarily interested in shopping so long as either Anders or Sten is like directing me to the various contact points, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think that what Anders did was kind of tell you like who to go to and what words to use to get
Oh,
into the
with the
back rooms
password.
kind of
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
like I think Anders isn't going, right? Because they know Sten and you're not going in cover right now, but
Mhm.
um nevertheless, you've been directed to Sten's contacts.
Yes, okay. Cool.
And you
Do
can
you
go if
have
you want, Tyler.
I'm
Sorry, I just was curious that I
no,
didn't
no,
know
no,
if
no,
you wanted
no.
to.
I was gonna say, you might be able to find what you're looking for if you just went with uh I Dan, I assume you'd be accompanying me to your contact. Like I don't know if that's something that you would want to tag along for, but I'm sure that they would have um items you might want to purchase and might be a little more high end and legitimate, given that they would have all the necessary paperwork.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Edic would be opposed. Uh, I mean, I think he's trying to keep his options open. He'll knows what he
Mhm.
wants when he sees it, kind of deal.
Okay.
Mhm.
So are we heading up to, my gosh,
The
the
gardens.
no, not the gardens. We're going to I have to remember what it's called because we never go here. um let's see. Man, maybe it would just be in the Silver Quarter. Where
Ivory
would like
Row,
Ivory
Silver
Row was
Quarter.
kind of, yeah, I'm trying to decide like maybe it would be Ivory Row. Because that's where
Hmm.
kind of like the commerce, some of the commerce stuff. Yeah, it's Ivory Row. So we're going to go to Ivory Row. You all
Wait, before
yep. Oh, go
she
ahead.
has something to do in this area, she wanted to contact her manager and
Bev.
Itchy Jim, that yeah, and pay them to get a different place and like move quickly and kind of lay low for a bit because she's worried about the swan seeking retaliation. And so she kind of
Got
explains the
it.
situation a bit and is like, I just don't want you guys to end up like my last group or like my last manager. So if I need to take like silver stress for that or
Yes.
anything like that, I'm cool with
Yeah,
it.
so you
But
can mark if you want to relocate all 4 of them.
yeah,
So you can either I would say you can choose to mark either 1 or 2 silver stress, and this would be kind of the difference between giving them the means to lay low kind of separately versus together.
I'll mark. Can I ask them their choice?
Yeah,
Like
Bev
what
is
they would
like,
like?
well, I have my husband. I guess I should probably take him if he's in danger.
Yes,
Um,
I would recommend that. I'm glad you don't have kids, Bev. I'm sorry.
and then I guess, for me, I just think that maybe if we're all together, that's actually, if they find one of us, they find all of us.
Good point. Okay, yeah, all of you are separate, and please just lay low for a bit and don't attract any unneeded attention. And I don't know, like carry a dagger with you or something if you need to.
Is that 2 silver stress then?
Yeah, and I'm up
And
to 3 stress total.
so if I roll a 1 or 2,
Yeah.
it's a 9. You're safe.
Yay.
The first time in a while that we haven't just rolled Fallout
Bad
on
Fallout.
really low things. Okay. Yeah. And after sending Bev, Itchy Jim, and Dan to safety, the group of you, is everybody going to the Ivory Row?
My only
I
question,
oh, go ahead, Tyler.
yes, sorry. My only question before we left was, did we want me to do the Rite of Many Faces now, to become the elf here before we went, or did we want me to do that later?
Do it later
Don't you
In,
also
because
in
have to like study someone from that culture for a certain amount of time and all that to
so
get a new
yeah,
cover?
so this is it's a little riskier. It's called a single night's grace. And this one I do just a flat d6 stress. And then I can take a cover that I don't have already. And I can't remove it then um until the next sunrise.
Okay.
For any reason. So I would not be able to become anyone else in that time frame.
Also, I would want to use whenever is appropriate the dress for success. So that takes an hour, and then
Hmm.
he would get access to the fix skill, and they would roll with mastery on compel and deceive checks for the next situation.
Um,
I just while we're all telling everyone things we're doing, I just rolled 2 stress to mind. So Elise, can you roll me for Fallout? I'm at 3. This is so that everyone gets their abilities while we're all going out and shopping.
Oh, okay.
She would also
It's a
like to
9.
wear.
You're safe.
She would also like to wear a mask since she's originally from Ivory Row.
Okay.
Yeah, you could borrow one of Din's.
Din, please. I don't want to. Thanks.
Alvy is gonna go along with the shopping thing, but I don't think that she plans on buying anything meaningful. I think she wants to just see if there's anything interesting and weird there that she can look at and find out, or if she can just talk to shopkeepers endlessly about interesting things that they know.
Okay. Yeah, so with a bit okay, so important is Anders doing the thing where he becomes the high elf, or are you going as Anders?
It's a
What
great
is
question.
Anders currently
So,
stress level at?
Anders' current stress is
Because D6 can kill you.
D6 can kill. His current is at 2, but so it says D6 stress. I don't know if I'm allowed to kind of throw that around. Multiple like in multiple resistance slots. Right now I have two in mind and 1 in shadow. So I don't know if like if I took 3 stress, would I be able to
Yeah, I think
have
this is
um,
probably mostly like blood and mind is where I would allow this stress
one in
level.
mind? Okay. Yeah. So potentially, um, could take a max of 2 mind stress. And then if I take any blood stress, that would go on my total. I don't have any resistance slots there. So yeah, um, it's a toss up.
Whatever's safer for keeping you alive is whatever it should be, even if it takes a little longer.
I mean,
Sure.
would there be any repercussions to you going around trying to acquire this sword while not, like, if you are Elfir while not having it? Like, I feel like if you were an Elfir and you were trying to purchase an Elfir sword,
Yeah, yeah. I think I think I should be okay, given that Din had said that this seller checks out to the point of like be able to purchase this for the amount of money, no questions asked. So yeah, I guess I would be safe enough going as oh god, Anders doesn't like to be in public because reasons.
Alfie will
There might
hold
be a
your
few
hand.
wanted. There might be a few wanted posters of Anders and two of his friends that are still. Well, maybe the two friends are dead at this point. I don't know. I haven't checked in with them in a while. Um, oh golly, gosh, gee. Yeah.
Gee
Uh,
willikers.
gee willikers, guys. I think Anders
Please
is
tell me
gonna
that's the voice,
brave.
that kind of like high pitched cracking voice is what the new cover.
The
That's how
new
they talk.
Elfir is gonna use.
Yeah.
this is
It's
the one that's seen
definitely
war.
Steve. It's Steve Rogers pre Captain America. I'm like remembering my past.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it's just gonna be Anders.
Okay.
Just plain old
Plain
vanilla
old
toast
Anders.
Anders.
All right. So Vanilla Toast and Company head out. Din, you can absolutely do your for success. You've got a Sky Whale ride up to Ivory Row. It's not too far, not too expensive to get there. After Bev and the crew are kind of safely hidden away. And as you're kind of dressing Anders for success, you kind of rack your brain for things that you know about this seller, this person in Ivory Row, and you remember that they are easy to offend. They love a good deal, but and will sell to anybody, but they're kind of think highly of themselves, and so their ego is fragile sometimes. So you might mention that, and also that while they certainly claim that all of their business is above the board, that is not necessarily entirely the case. And they don't, that's part of the part of the fragile ego includes like, you don't want to look at that too closely, but to be aware
Mm.
that like in terms of like legality issues, it's kind of a bit of a don't ask, don't tell situation with this person. So you can just kind of keep that in mind as well. That can be a touchy subject for this kind of fragile ego seller.
Oh. Random question here, Elise. I just found out I have armor. I have concealable armor one. That would go before blood. Okay,
Yes.
great.
I have a question. If at any point we do begin haggling with somebody and I'm there, could my background as a resident of Ivory Row be used to provide mastery on the haggling? Because it is like not to reveal
I
too
hear
much
what you're
about you.
saying.
Yeah.
I mean, technically that's a knack, right? Haggling in Ivory Row.
Could I
But
do that in exchange of like giving them like high society or some other thing?
yeah, I think that depending,
Okay.
let's see when we get there. But I could be compelled. Um, so okay, we
Yeah.
so yeah, you take your Sky Whale up to Ivory Row, make your way to where Din remembers this person. Her name is Galena Roses in Bloom. And as with many high elf and other vendors, merchants in Ivory Row, the standard issue is for everyone to be masked dealing with when dealing with them. And so there are, as you've encountered, not in this season arc chunk, but in the previous one, masks just kind of out for people to don as they're entering if they don't have their own. So for those of you, which I think would be Edic, Alvi, and Anders, who don't have their own masks, you can kind of take one of these shop masks as you go in, which, the COVID traumatized part of me is just
Alvi
like,
picks it up and just looks disgusted.
yeah.
It's just like,
You can't put that on your
oh,
face. Other people have worn that. Did they
she's gonna like
sanitize it?
see. Yeah, whoever's near there should be like, oh, how often do you sanitize these? What do you use to sanitize them actually? Do you wash it with soap? Is there any alcohol? Is it safe? Has somebody worn this? Are they recycled?
Yeah, and they just roll their eyes at you and you don the mask. And yeah, and the person, as after you've put on all your masks, there's a person standing behind kind of the counter, looking through some ledgers and books and things. And they're wearing kind of a generic shop mask as well, but it's marked differently than like customer masks, which is what you all have been given. They're like a store clerk or something. And they they look up and look you over. And I think that because Din, your mask, and Chu's mask are different, are set apart from the crew, they kind of settle their eyes on you first, Din, because I think, Chu, being from here, is trying to be inconspicuous. And so they settle their eyes on you, Din, and yes, hello. Can I help you? Do you have an appointment? Are you here to see uh, Lady Roses in Bloom?
Don't have an appointment, right? No, we don't have an appointment, but I have I don't have a bond with this person, but
No.
like it's like, have we met before?
I think casually maybe once in your kind of business dealings before. Sure, yeah.
Oh, I'd be like, I'm here for particular purchase. My cohort and I might be able to give you some more details here. Then I gesture to whoever's talking next, because it's not me.
um, um, oh, I recently came into money gambling, and wanted to spend my money wisely, and seeing as how I'll be under the fighting pits soon to try my luck there. Um, Thought I'd want a high quality blade. Um,
So
I was one.
some weapons, some armor, the usual fare. Very well. Let me see if the lady has a moment. When you say you came into some money, listen, between us, it just kind of helps you store. Um, we're, t- you know, uh, not to make assumptions, but my lady doesn't do business with folks who can't pay, so.
I'm gonna just take the like. I assume like two-handed like sack of Stan and just put it on the counter.
Very well. Let me check. And she kind of disappears back into the building a little bit. you hear some muffled voices, and a minute later she appears again, and this time is followed by a high elf. She's wearing nice kind of pale blue robes, or outfits, not just robes, um, but pale, like a nice pale blue
Ooh.
outfit, and has her true mask kind of hanging on a necklace, and like pinned into the folds of the kind of front part of her dress, with a very beautiful mask that seems to pay homage to several of the solar pantheon, with like the designs, so like some like sun flares up here and some like winter looking, like snowfall down here kind of thing. And there's some like skin showing, like the mask is like missing pieces, so you can actually see some of her skin underneath. And she kind of emerges and comes out, following this shop attendant. Um, and she looks you over and she says, "Oh yes, hello. I understand that you're here to see the weapons and armory. If you'd like to step back, I have about 10 minutes before my next appointment, so we'll have to be somewhat brief, but um, that's the business we're in. Appointments go a long way." And she kind of says that pointedly, you can see like a little tug of a smile on like, but like
Uh-huh.
one of those like, we like appointments here smile. And and she gestures you to the back of the shop, and the clerk, the attendant, kind of raises the bar so that you can pass by the desk.
Sure. Sure, yeah. I'm
Edic,
gonna come back.
Edic has taken out a small little writing pad and a piece of charcoal, and that is all I'm gonna say for right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so you all follow Lady Roses in Bloom to the back.
As
And
we're walking back
yeah.
there, I'm definitely gonna just kind of like, you mentioned weapons and armor. Do you have anything else that's interesting? Maybe that's not really for fighting, but it's just kind of interesting and different, like trinkets, like little animals or other.
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. We do have quite a variety of our in our items here for sale. Perhaps if we have time, and she opens a door and kind of ushers you into a room. And she kind of pokes her head back out down the hall and calls to the attendant. And she says, "Actually, would you take this one?" And she kind of gestures at Alvi, to the oddities collection for me. And
Oh,
the attendant takes you through to another room. This is so she kind of has a
yes.
separate place where she keeps her oddities as opposed to the weapons and armory. Okay, and yeah, and the weapons and armory. So the what's here, she kind of walks you through a few things. She has she kind of gestures to the first thing, which is this kind of very small crossbow. It's much smaller than you typically think crossbows can be. And she picks it up and kind of turns it around so that you can see it. She says, "Yes, this was engineered to be quite small comparatively, so it's quite easy to hide on your body. It does typically work quite well as a weapon that surprises enemies, does a small amount of damage, but nevertheless quite handy for those of you who might be looking for something that is easy to hide on your body. It's quite unusual. It's one of the first of its kind in this size. Usually crossbows are quite hard to engineer this small." She sets it down. She picks up some armor. And is anyone proficient in both technology and occult? Believe
Yes.
Edic is. Um, Edic, you look over that armor. As she's kind of talking, she's doing like, "Oh yes, it's broken, as you can see, like, quill's still quite valuable, blah blah blah," kind of thing. You're looking it over, and as your kind of like expert eye is like going over these things, you think that with some tinkering, some technology tinkering, that this could be quite not just valuable in that it's well made, but possibly have magical elements, which is very unusual, very rare, restored to it. So it's possible that based on what Lady Roses in Bloom is saying, that she does not even know this as she's kind of saying this, but that this armor was once magical and could be restored to be magical again. And she kind of sets it down again, and moves on. She shows you a dagger. She calls it the blistering dagger. She essentially, like, it is extremely hot, and the damage that it deals can continue beyond just the first time that it nicks somebody. She picks up a small item that can be thrown to stun enemies. It does a small amount of damage, but can stun a large group of enemies all at once. A retro-engineered range rifle. It's just essentially a sniper rifle. It has extreme range, but is one shot, so it's get one shot at it. Does a lot of damage. Can be used at extreme range. And something that she seems a little like unwilling to touch, but she does anyway. It's called spiderweave armor. And she says, not really my thing, but for those of you who are of less fair skin, perhaps you would like it. I hear that your midwives are quite fond of those who are willing to wear it, because apparently the city guard don't like it very much. Essentially, this type of armor is too reminiscent of like drow heritage, and it's illegal. But the midwives are likely to give you favor if you seek it while wearing it.
I think at this point, Edic is probably still eyeing over that ostensibly broken armor. The crossbow wasn't necessarily what I think Edic was looking for, because I think he wants something that isn't so one shot. But
well, I mean, it does damage every time you shoot it. It's just the first time. So basically, it's surprising. The condition or whatever for this tag for the weapon is surprising, and the first time you use it in combat, you get mastery with it, and after that, it's just a normal roll.
And it takes, like, you still have to reload it, though. It's not something that, yeah. And mine doesn't have any tags on it other than, like, piercing, I don't think. Just a regular ranged one shot. That's it. Okay.
So I do want to point out that we're pretty much at 9:30, and I know that like we just like got the spread of things available in this room, but I also do want to honor like our kind of standing commitment to so what I can do is also send you all like with the things that we just went through, and you guys can look over if you know, so that you remember them for next session, if that's fine with everyone. And then we can also pop in on Alvi in the kind of oddities room next session.
Yeah, will you send me the oddities as well, and I can have so many questions prepared?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go over the oddities on stream because there's some cool shit.
But if you send it to me ahead of time, then I'll have so many questions for you.
Yeah, totally. And then if you want to ask any questions of Lady Roses in Bloom about other stock or things like that, I'm sure that those kinds of questions will come up, but those can be next session. I appreciate you kind of this kind of awkward cut in the middle of a shopping episode. Very, awkward timing to have to end, but I'm glad that we at least got here and you got to start looking over some wares.
Can I throw in one thing that might possibly work in Edic's favor? As he's like eyeing this thing down, he tears out the page from his sketch pad and walks over and hands it to Galena, and it is a portrait of her done in charcoal, and it has Danksy written at the bottom.
Okay, cool.
So we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, duly noted. Oh, great. So I think That is it for us tonight. We will see how Danksy's drawing of Galena Roses in Bloom plays out next session. And yeah, don't forget you can hang out with Helpful Goat other times, like tomorrow for Fates of Rin, or next week for Goats of Saltmarsh on Wednesday at 7 or 9 or whatever time zone that translates to for you. Or in our Discord with exclamation point Discord. Um, or buy our merch because there's goats and stoats with an exclamation point merch.
Mhm. That's the only
All
piece of
right.
merch I've bought so far is the Goats and Stoat
And
shirt.
I need a new hoodie. I've been thinking about a new hoodie, and now I'm just like, I gotta get the.
I think they were having issues with the
I
hoodie,
know. That's
so
why I'm
yeah.
like, I'm holding out for the
Hold off.
holding
Wait
out
till
for the
it's fixed.
hoodie. All right. Anyway, it's been real. Thanks everybody. It's been fun. We appreciate you hanging out with us. And with that, I think we're done for tonight. So say bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
Uh,